Right now, 1,000 active duty soldiers at Fort Liberty are set to respond to the North Carolina mountains to help with the relief effort. They loaded up choppers and trucks with fuel and water. They have special logistics abilities to get to some of the harder to reach places. And this is in addition to the 6,500 National Guardsmen that deployed to the area this week. Joining me now to talk about the military response is Major General Robert Davis, the Director of Operations for the U.S. Northern Command. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight at 7.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Thank you.
Let's start with the timing of this response. These soldiers are still at Fort Liberty tonight, as of my understanding. They're not in Western North Carolina. We're told because it's because of some red tape with FEMA. Can you explain this? Why the wait?
Well, I can tell you that we have great partnership with FEMA and the National Guard there in North Carolina, who's in the lead on this entire response effort. As soon as the president authorized yesterday for those additional 1,000 active duty troops to be used to help to support the ongoing efforts, we immediately began coordinating with both FEMA and the North Carolina National Guard leadership to determine the best way to utilize those. And so what I would anticipate is in the coming hours and days that we would have a very synchronized plan that's coordinated well with both FEMA and the National Guard there in the state, so that when we do move out, that it's very synchronized and adds the absolute most value where the National Guard needs those active duty soldiers to go.
Are you still waiting for that Title 10 authority?
Absolutely not. So we have that. As soon as the president authorized that yesterday, we had the authority to take the soldiers that are there at Liberty, put them under the command and control of U.S. Northern Command, and then utilize them in a synchronized and coordinated fashion with the National Guard and FEMA, who are in the leadership role of this. And so we want to make sure that we're being very complementary. We're not out there doing something on our own. That it's very well synchronized and led by the state.
Yeah. Whenever soldiers do arrive, what will they be doing? What's their primary assignment?
Absolutely. So the primary assignment of these soldiers is going to be several things right off the bat, which is going to be the emergency clearing of roads, the emergency clearance of debris that's in the way, and then the delivery of water and other critical commodities to these isolated areas of the state.
We know the National Guard has been on the ground there for days now. How extraordinary is it, though, to bring in active duty units for disaster relief, especially considering all that's going on in the Ukraine and the Middle East and elsewhere in the world?
It is extraordinary. And the main reason it's extraordinary is because, as you alluded to, when there's a crisis and something bad happens, it's the first responders that are right there in those local communities, supplemented by the state and state National Guard. And so for the federal military to come in and assist, what to me the gravity of that is it means that the situation is bad. And it means there's a lot of people suffering on the ground for it to warrant a combined federal and state response. And so, to me, that's the gravity of the situation that we're facing right now, and that we're honored to, quite honestly, really honored to support under the leadership of the state.
I know that something similar happened with the Hurricane Katrina response. This one different, though, given just how complex the situation is geographically. How will you handle the transportation? So many roads are still closed. We're relying on airdrops in so many ways. How will the U.S. Army troops, active duty troops, be able to help these capabilities accelerate the relief effort?
I think two primary ways, actually. One is that road clearing capability that I mentioned just previously, I think will really help to open up the roads. Of course, many of the roads, as was previously depicted by you, and they don't exist anymore. And so sometimes clearing the roads is not going to help. And so in that regard, we also have some active duty helicopters that have already been supporting over the past 24 hours in synchronization and coordination with the state helicopters as well. So I suspect that some of these active duty troops may get transported by helicopter to help to deliver some of those critical commodities.
Major General Davis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.